Thank you for joining me for today's episode of the Simply Financial Podcast. I'm your host, Christopher Calandra. Want to increase your financial IQ with today's episode, which is a follow-on episode. I want to thank my partner, Marshall Rosen, for suggesting I do this follow-on topic. Recently, I did a show that talked about how much net worth you needed to be in the top 1% of the United States. Please check out that episode if you haven't done so already. I like all the episodes I put out, but I especially liked that one. So with Marshall's suggestion, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about income. The previous episode, I focused on how much net worth you needed to be in the top 1%. This time, I want to focus on income. How much income do you need to be in the top 1% in the United States? And the answer, according to Smart Asset, this was some research they did in late 2023, is that you need $652,000 in the U.S. to be in the top 1% nationwide. That is a big number. That's a big number. And especially because the national median average is about $74,000, $75,000. So $652,000, that's a lot of money. There are lots of people that do that, of course, a growing number, but that is rarefied air. $652,000 of income puts you in the top 1%. I was interested in the research I saw from Smart Asset because it does vary quite a bit from state to state. This is also something Marshall had referenced when he said I should do this follow-on topic. So Connecticut, which is where I lived for almost 40 years, has the highest income that you need to be in the top 1%. That comes in at $953,000. You need to make almost $1 million in Connecticut to be in the top 1% in Connecticut. That's pretty incredible. Rounding out the top 5 are Massachusetts with a $903,000 of income to be in the top 1%. California comes in third at $844,000. New Jersey, $817,000, which means that the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, occupies 3 of the top 4 spots in this category. And then the 5th state surprised me a bit, honestly. It came in as Washington with $805,000. I suspect that's greatly influenced by Microsoft and the tech hub there. I could be wrong, but that's my thought. Florida, I know a lot of my listeners are in Florida. That's where I now am officially a resident. That's where my parents live. That's where I've had an office for 10 years now. That came in at a very respectable $695,000. And just to give you some more information, the lowest states, in other words, the states where you need the lowest amount of income to be in the top 1%, it's dominated by the it's dominated by the South. We have Arkansas at $451,000. That's the 5th lowest income you need to be in the top 1%. Kentucky is close by at $445,000. Then New Mexico, $411,000. Then Mississippi, $392,000. And West Virginia was at the bottom of this category, meaning, again, you needed the smallest amount of income to be in the top 1%. West Virginia, if you make $368,000 or more, you would be in the top 1%. I don't think this is surprising. Generally, the southern states have less income. That is changing over time. Florida is a good example of that. In the Northeast, much more, higher cost of living, higher taxes generally. I don't think any of these conceptual rankings should surprise many people. They don't surprise me. But that's how much income you need. So hopefully you'll get out there and earn some income and drive your income higher over time if you're young and in the working career. So thanks for listening to today's episode. I appreciate the time. I'll be back with you on another episode of the Simply Financial Podcast very soon. Subscribe to the podcast, please, if you haven't done so already. And you could check out the work that my team and I do here at Elliott Wealth Management by visiting elliottwealth.com. Thanks again. I'll be back with you soon.
The views expressed are not necessarily the opinion of Osaic Wealth, Inc., and should not be construed directly or indirectly as an offer to buy or sell any securities mentioned herein. Investing is subject to risks, including loss of principal invested. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. No strategy can assure a profit nor protect against loss. Please note that individual situations can vary. Therefore, the information should be relied upon when coordinated with individual professional advice. Please note, the information being provided is strictly as a courtesy. When you link to any of the websites provided here, you are leaving this website. We make no representation as to the completeness or accuracy of information provided at these websites. Nor is the company liable for any direct or indirect technical or system issues or any consequences arising out of your access to or your use of third-party technologies, websites, information, and programs made available through this website. When you access one of these websites, you are leaving our website and assume total responsibility and risk for your use of the websites you are linking to. Securities and advisory services are offered through Osaic Wealth, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Insurance services offered through Elliott Wealth Management Services, LLC, not affiliated with Osaic Wealth, Inc.